There is a way you can possibly escape the mark of the beast and the Antichrist. And if you do it right and you're saved and you're a Christian and you make it all the way through tribulation, there's a chance you would never have to die. That is, unless the rapture kills you. I don't know if the rapture kills you or not. All the Bible tells us about the rapture is that we'll be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. This corruptible body will take on incorruptible. But whether that kills us or not, I don't know. But I'd rather die by God than by the Antichrist. I'm sure the rapture is going to be a whole lot better experience than whatever the Antichrist is going to do to us. I'll give you a quick breakdown on how all this is going to play out. Antichrist is going to confirm this 7-year covenant between many. When he confirms this 7-year covenant, that's the beginning of tribulation. But the first 3.5 years of the tribulation is not going to be bad. The Antichrist is going to be good, pretending that he's the Messiah, deceiving people. We're told in Daniel 9:27, it's not until 3.5 years in is when he causes the abomination that makes desolate, which is the Antichrist putting a stop to the sacrifices and offerings to God, because now he wants to be worshipped. So 3.5 years in, that's when he stands in the temple of God, proclaims that he is God, and demands everyone worships him. That's when he makes war on the saints. So he's only going to be bad and evil and persecuting the saints for the last 3.5 years. It means you only have to make it the last 3.5 years, and then Jesus is going to return immediately after tribulation. The rapture is the exact same event at Jesus' return, and we're told this in Matthew 24:29 through 31. Jesus says immediately after tribulation of those days, then is his return and the gathering together of the elect. But knowing this, if you make it all the way through tribulation, and there is going to be some who make it all the way through, then they're going to be raptured away at the second coming of Christ to avoid the wrath of God, because God will not destroy the righteous with the wicked. That being said, how do we do it? How do we hide from the Antichrist? Jesus tells those who are in Judea to flee to the mountains, and I do think it's going to be different for everyone depending on where you are. And with America specifically, I don't believe we're going to take part in the Antichrist. I don't believe we're going to allow him over here. We're not going to be a part of his system at all. That being said, I don't think we're going to be spared by him completely. I believe he's going to form 3 continents into one: Europe, Asia, and Africa. We're going to be the only country that doesn't take part, and maybe Canada and Mexico, considering they're a part of North America and South America, so they might be a part of it too. That being said, we're not completely spared by the Antichrist, because I believe he's going to have all 3 of these continents come and make war on us, because we don't take part and we don't want nothing to do with it. We're going to have to avoid a war, and I don't know if fleeing to the mountains is enough, but I do know you got to get out of major cities, and the more that you can get back in the country and away from these cities, the better. And that's for America. If you're not in America, then flee to the mountains. You got to get into the mountains, because you're going to be a part of his system. So he's not going to bring a war against you, but he is coming for the saints. He is coming for the Christians. So if you're a Christian, then I would get into the mountains and flee. America, get ready for a war that we've never seen before, because we're not going to have 3 countries fighting against us. We're going to have 3 continents coming against us. And I'll go ahead and go into a little bit of it. That way it can make a little bit more sense. George Washington had a vision in 1776. He was visited by an angel, and he was shown 3 great perils that were going to come against America. The only reason I believe this vision is true is because while I was reading it, God told me to go and compare it to the book of Daniel. Also, the first and second perils happened exactly like the angel told him they would. First peril was the Revolutionary War, and it happened exactly like the angel told him. And the second peril was the Civil War, and it happened exactly like the angel told him it would. But the third peril is the one that hasn't happened yet. And in this peril, he's told that 3 continents come against America: Europe, Asia, and Africa. And I started thinking, what in the world could make 3 continents come together? Only the Antichrist could do something like that. After they came together, he said they invaded America, and he saw cities, towns, and everything being destroyed. He thought that they was about to be overcome, and then he looked up and saw the light of 1,000 suns breaking through the sky. And he said he saw an angel come through the sky attended by legions of white spirits. This is when God also told me, now compare that to the book of Revelation. John said he saw heaven open and Jesus come through attended by the saints of heaven. They were clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So they're seeing the exact same thing. They started helping the inhabitants of America, who he thought was already overcome. He says the inhabitants of America took courage again, renewed back into the battle, and closed up their broken ranks. They ended up winning, and all these countries ended up going back to where they came from. And they only won because Jesus Christ himself came back to save this country. Another reason I believe that this is Jesus' return is because he says he took from his brow a crown that blazoned the word union. He placed it up on the American flag while all the people kneeling down said amen. They're kneeling down worshiping Jesus because Jesus just now saved our butts. So that being said, the Antichrist is going to come against America with a war. It's not going to be quite the same as these other countries. I think they're going to be able to hide in the mountains and not be seen quite as easily. But in America, we're going to have a war to deal with, so it's going to be a little bit harder to hide from him. That being said, this country is huge and they can't wipe out everything, and they're going to target these major cities first. So if if you can hold off and hide from this war whenever it comes, not be killed in the war when he comes, then there's a chance that you can be raptured away at the second coming of Christ after the tribulation is over.